What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another day, another episode of the Daily Grind. I'm your host, Diannsg, and on today's show, we're going to be watching WARDOGS video. They're addressing feedback from the last video we watched last week, right? They showed raw gameplay, and with the raw gameplay, they showed kill cam. And with the kill cam, people were like, uh-oh, kill cam. So they're addressing that, and they're saying a bunch of other stuff. I watched the first couple of minutes, and then we're going to watch the rest of the video, give you my thoughts and opinions on it. Then we'll discuss that as well. We're also going to talk about, it just keeps getting worse. Microsoft reportedly already had Ninja Theory in the crosshairs while pushing the announcement trailer for the next game, which we talked about yesterday before this even broke. I was like, wait a minute. So that means they already knew, okay? They already knew that the game was going to be closed before even showing the next, before the next game. Which is just diabolical, right? Because they were trying to make a sale. They're trying to show, hey, they're working on the next game. Someone pick them up, and no one was interested, so that's why they're closing down, at least speculatively, right? Then we're also going to talk about an opinion piece by Corden. He says, Microsoft, please let your Xbox studios cook. They shouldn't be punished for previous experiments and mismanagement. Mismanagement's the big word there. These are the things that we're going to be talking about today. If you guys like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. What's going on, chat? Let me scroll up here. Ashraf, what's going on? Aku, good morning. Altern, good morning. Sarge, good morning. El Nini, Brain Eclipse, Kylo, good morning. Who am I missing? Who'd I miss? I know there's someone else in here that I missed. I don't know why my thing keeps scrolling up as I'm scrolling down. Jesse Mack, what's going on? Jason, good morning. All right. Let's get to the first video, or the only video for now anyway. We might pick up something on the other side. They can't even optimize Unreal Engine 5, and we're getting Unreal Engine 6. That's correct. Because it's like, remember that, what the hell, what movie was it? You got 7-minute abs, and you got 6-minute abs. What the fuck movie was that? Like, see, 6-minute abs is just better than 7, right? That's just what it is. That's what it feels like. What's going on, Mr. Z? What's going on, Ray? Right? It's just stupid. It's like, yeah, we got Unreal Engine 6. That way, 5 years from now, we can be like, oh, not even 5 years now. 3 years from now, they can be like, oh, we have Unreal Engine 7. All right. Let's watch WARDOGS. I'm very interested in this game. I want to hear what they have to say about the kill cam and whatever else they have to say here.
We've just showcased our new WARDOGS gameplay trailer at the Future Games Show.
It is time for a closer look at WARDOGS.
Off the back of that show, we now have reached over 600,000 wish lists, and the reception has been insane.
Oh, this game looks cool! Big fucking map and overarching progression. Yes, dude!
I like how it's all cash-based.
Yo, this looks badass.
Lone Star winning. Yeah, fuck Manticore.
The burnt peanut's gonna fucking love that game.
This is WARDOGS.
Shit looks fire. What can I say? Shit looks fire.
He just recently got, it was pretty funny. They put him in Fortnite, right? They the little, I guess you can beat him or whatever. And there was a clip of him with a harness on with his little baby. Because he is a peanut, by the way. This is not a guy playing a peanut. This is an actual peanut. All right? And someone was like, man, his baby, or he's like, God, you're ugly, right? He was like, it was like all this whole thing, someone was ripping on him, and he's like, that's my baby. That's my baby. He's like, oh. He's like, oh, that's your baby. He's like, oh. It was pretty funny. It was pretty funny.
Straight after the gameplay trailer dropped, we revealed 30 minutes of pure pre-alpha gameplay.
That was him.
Oh, yeah.
We actually spent weeks trying to capture the perfect, clean footage, but in the end, we just said, screw it. Let's grab our mates, even...
Can I just say, this is not making fun of him right now, you can see footage of him earlier on in the development cycle, and then he's gotten, like, fatter in the face. Is it me? Is that brought on by, like, stress? It's got to be stressful, right, to make a game like this, or to make a game in general. I don't know. Maybe he's eating. Maybe he's not eating healthy. Maybe he's eating too much, sitting too much. I don't know. I'm just making an observation.
Some of them are a bit shit at the game and just play and have fun. Just zoom in on Reese's face. Okay. Reese.
Are you getting a shot of me
yeah.
because you said I'm shit?
Yeah.
Go, 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 go.
Looking through all of the reactions, the pre-alpha gameplay reception
Hold on, I want to go back and read.
has been overwhelming.
I want to read some of these things. I've not even been excited for a game in a long, long time. The audio sounds incredible. Open the door. I'm ready for war. The level design they put puddles looks amazing. I don't give a shit about the puddles. Dev took down player hostage, teabagged him, and yet they instant buy for me. Okay, no weapon bloom. Yay. Now this is what I like to see in gameplay in a title. They can make a ton of cinematic trailers, but footage of devs trying to breach a base getting annihilated by barbed wire. Yeah, that pretty much sold it. I mean, we said it last week. I was like, I'm sold. You guys nailed the art style. It feels kind of what I'm waiting for since Battlefield 4, detailed, but one of the grounded level without too much clutter and with enough visual clarity. Okay, it says this game's look in the exact void I've had for years. I agree with that statement. Top one here says, huge W. Can't wait to play this on stream. You guys are cooking. What else am I saying? Can we back up a little bit? Let's see if I can read some more. Devs that actually play their own game. Looks hella great. Holy, I had so much fun watching just to see you guys experience your own game like that. Normal players would. Funny ideas to approach also. Game also sounds and looks perfect. In alpha, you really cooked here. I can't read anything else. They're all like blurry in the background.
All of the reactions, the pre-alpha gameplay reception has been overwhelmingly positive. It's also brought us some feedback, and that's the main subject of today's video. Not the feedback itself, but instead how we as a developer handle feedback and our game.
He said something about feedback in another interview. Right? He said, and we actually went over it. He was like, it's our job, not our job, the customer, their job as the developers. He's like, to weed through, right? If someone is like cursing or angry or whatever, he's like, but they have feedback in there. It's their job to figure out what it is.
One of our frustrations as players is seeing other devs and publishers not having the commitment to their vision or the balls to say what they want about their own.
I say it all the time. Make a game, sell a game, right? Make the game that you want to make, sell that game, right? If it sells great, fantastic. If it doesn't sell great, at least you made something that you wanted to make.
Game. So forgive us for being more direct than you may be used to.
But when it comes to feedback, it doesn't matter if you're a well-known streamer. It doesn't matter if you're a content creator with thousands of followers. We're not going to compromise our vision for WARDOGS based on feedback from people who haven't yet had the opportunity to experience the game how we intended.
And this doesn't mean that we're not.
Can you imagine? I know it's WARDOGS, but could you imagine if this was Battlefield 6? Do you know what I mean? Like, all of a sudden Battlefield comes up and you're like, this is it. This is what we've been waiting for. But this is not Battlefield, right? This is a brand new franchise, which then goes into the conversation we had yesterday, right? Talking about Xbox. If Xbox falls to the wayside and everyone's like, what's going to happen? Someone else will come up. Somebody else will come up. Even BattleBit Remastered. There was a lull in Battlefield, and 3 people decided they wanted to make a Battlefield game, but they made it to what they could make with the voxel type based stuff, and they made a Battlefield game. BattleBit Remastered is more Battlefield than Battlefield has been in the last decade. Okay, someone will come up and make something. Okay, because there's a spot there and people want it. People go out and do it.
Always listening and discussing feedback.
If a bug is discovered, we'll log it to be fixed. If audio isn't clear, we'll be listening and tweaking the mix. If
Let me go back a little bit here.
we haven't yet had the opportunity to experience the game how we intended.
And this doesn't mean that we're not always listening and discussing feedback.
If a bug is discovered, we'll log it to be fixed. If audio isn't clear, we'll be listening and tweaking the mix. If
Right.
a UX issue occurs, we'll discuss it internally and ultimately consider redesigns. If there are gameplay frustrations or balancing issues, we'll be watching both Discord discussions and back-end data, and most importantly, we'll be playing the game ourselves and acting good time if we think a change is justified.
In the grand scheme of things, those issues are smaller in scale, but at a higher level, we have a clear vision for what WARDOGS is and what WARDOGS isn't.
The line in the sand.
We've said it before, WARDOGS is a hardcore tactical shooter that doesn't forget it's a game. It takes elements of hardcore games and makes them more approachable to bridge the gap.
Hardcore gaming, but then when they show the kill cam, and they do address the kill cam in this video, that was the problem for me. I was like, I don't like the kill cam. If this is a tactical game, I don't want a kill cam, but they address it.
Meaning the game isn't going to be for everyone.
The risk of creating a game that sits between two opposites is that
you see how they swing it more towards Arma? It's between Battlefield and Arma. Not so much Tarkov, right? Not more towards the hardcore type of stuff, but it is more towards Arma than it is Battlefield, right?
every player's line of what features are too arcadey or too hardcore become extremely subjective. Arma, Squad and Tarkov diehards think Battlefield is a casual game. Battlefield players think they're hardcore because they're not COD players. Some COD players think they're hardcore because they're playing hardcore mode. The point is, every player has their own idea of where that line sits. That's why it's so important to us that we clearly state our vision, and that for WARDOGS, we are the line in the sand.
With that in mind, it's time to talk about the elephant in the room from our pre-alpha gameplay footage. Kill cam.
Kill cam is a great example of a feature
This is where I stopped. I was like, oh, they're talking about kill cam. I watched a little bit more, and then I stopped.
that absolutely leans more towards arcade than tactical, but there was some context missing from the gameplay reveal.
What do you mean there's context missing? We saw kill cam.
Firstly, like everything in WARDOGS, kill cam is tied to depth and decisions that you as a player can make.
If your preferred playstyle is going incognito and you want to snipe from the hills or ambush players in close quarters, you can unlock and buy a ghillie suit from the...
Like nothing. This is what I hate more about in other games. This is why I like Hell Let Loose. There's no kill cam, right? Nothing makes me more upset when I play a military game of any kind, right? You take your sweet ass time. You walk around the back. You go all the way around the corner, right? You hide up on the hill. You're up in a tree. No one knows you're there. You got like 10 guys in your view. You start sniping them, and in 3 seconds, they know exactly where you are because you killed one person. Then they communicate and go, he's up on the hill. He's up on the hill. He's right behind the tree. He's up behind the tree. He's right there. You see him? I hate that. I like playing hardcore mode, right? And as I said, everyone's their own, right? I like playing hardcore mode or like Real War, where if you've ever played Nerf Battle or paintball or, you ever, like, or pellet guns, whatever, like, there's no kill cam, right? They don't know where you are. If you have the upper ground, it's a game, right? You're not playing for real kills here, right? You're playing paintball. If I'm hiding somewhere and I can get you, that's my advantage, right? And if I kill 10 guys, that's me. I hate when there's a kill cam because they're like, oh, there he is, right? Because in Battlefield, when there was a kill cam, when I played kill cam, I was like, oh, that's where the guy got me. My mission now is to 100% kill that guy, not just once, right? Over and over and over. I find them because I know more people have habits and they'll go to the exact same spot again. So once I kill that guy, once I walk all the way around and then knife him in the head, okay, then I know he's going to go back to that section. So I'll be sniping from a distance. I'll see him in there and go, there he is again, right? I hate that.
Equipment vendor. This negates the kill cam entirely.
Wait a minute. Did he say suit from the equipped vendor negates the kill cam?
Want to snipe from the hills or ambush players in close quarters, you can unlock and buy a ghillie suit from the equipment vendor.
There's a ghillie suit you can unlock for $80,000 so you don't get a kill cam. Hold up now. I can see pushback already. Obviously, it's not pay to win because it's not real money. You play the game to unlock it. So now you have to have a bankroll to keep buying the suit because once you get killed, then you lose the suit, right? And then you have to buy a new suit, or do you respawn with that suit for the match, for the rest of the match? Or once you die, you lose the suit. That's a pretty heavy price. Maybe they answer the question. Let me back up here.
Or ambush players in close quarters, you can unlock and buy a ghillie suit from the equipment vendor. This negates the kill cam entirely. The trade-off is this comes at a steep investment, and you'll be unarmored as it sits in your armor slot, leaving you vulnerable to small arms fire if discovered.
You'll also partially negate kill cam with headshots, where it won't zoom towards your...
That makes sense. Okay, I like what they're. I like how they're cooking here. I like how they're cooking. If I shoot you in the head, there's no kill cam because you can't see me. But if I shoot you down in the body and you're down on the ground, yes, you are dead, but maybe you're not dead totally. You could look and go, oh, he got me from the window. I liked the story behind that a little bit. That makes much more sense. So no kill cam if you get shot in the head, if you shoot him in the head.
Player and will only... You'll also partially negate kill cam with headshots, where it won't zoom towards your player and will only turn in your general direction after you land a headshot.
This pushes the onus onto the player to make a split-second decision in the moment-to-moment combat of the control zone. Do you go for a clean headshot kill with an AP round to stay undetected? Or do you use the hollow?
It still goes in the direction. Now, you can... Yes, I still don't like that. Right? I still don't like that because now it's still going in the direction. If I hit you in the head, you're dead. Right? But now it's like, oh, well, where would you be? Let's play a little game here, chat. If I was just sniped and I look in the general direction, where do you think they're going to be? Morning, Wonder Rose. Right? Where... It's like, let's play that. Do, 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 do. Where would they be? Would they be on top of the beam? No, I don't see anyone on top of the beam. Where would they be? Oh, they would be in the crane.
Point ammo you lucid and shoot an enemy's unarmored body parts for a quicker kill and risk the enemy detecting you. Look, we're not here to sell the benefits of kill.
I do like it, though. I do like what they're saying.
Cam. Instead, we want the more hardcore players to understand why it was added in the first place before we explain how you can play without it entirely.
We set out from day one to make an all-out warfare shooter with tactical elements that we could play with our more casual mates, who always say...
That appeals to me big time, because I'm the exact person they're targeting and for the market that they're in.
Hey, they want to play something more hardcore, but will get frustrated and quit in a few hours.
I'm dead. That's so shit. I'm out. I'm going to bed. Killed.
Where did he get shot from?
More hardcore, but will get frustrated and quit in a few hours.
I'm dead. That's fucking...
You couldn't even see anybody there. I bet you the person that killed him was using, it is Tarkov. So they were probably doing the wiggle. Okay, well, you got to give me a while. Okay, well, I'll look at it afterwards. Okay, well, I'll look at it afterwards. Sure.
That's so shit. I'm out. I'm going to bed. Killed by invisible people. Refunded.
I'm sure we're not alone as FPS fans trying to convince our mates to try out titles such as Hell Let Loose, Squad, and Escape from Tarkov, but struggle to get them to play more than a few matches. The complaint we repeatedly encountered attempting to play these games with our friends is the frustration of repeatedly dying over and over and not knowing how, where, or why they died.
So are they using a kill cam to teach you the areas that you could hide? Is that their selling point here? The reason they're making you, if you're a casual, you don't get to play a lot. The kill cam is like, oh, you can hide up in there. Oh, you can. That's a good spot. Okay.
Whilst we know that learning to prevent that can be part of the fun and mastery of TAC FPS, the lack of information feels too punishing and too unfair to them.
This was always an issue when trying to play Armor King of the Hill, and also in WARDOGS' early development, as the issue was only amplified by unique design traits. Our maps are large, with lots of verticality and hiding spots, with lethal weaponry potentially at every angle. Until you learn the game, the frustration is only amplified in WARDOGS.
Well, that's any game, right? Until you learn the game. Until you learn the game, that's how it is always. You're not going to know all the maps and all the places. Even if you play even hundreds of hours, you're still not going to know all the spots.
Life is an investment, making every death hurt more. So they end up quitting instead of putting in the hours to gain the knowledge and prevent that scenario happening in the first place. Killcam in WARDOGS softens that friction. It doesn't entirely remove it.
Killcam helps discourage camping and it nudges players to tactically reposition.
Yeah, but that's why I don't like Killcam, right? Softening it because it stops people from camping, that's the way they want to play the game. If I get a position and people don't know about that position, well, that is my, overpower over everybody else until they learn it. But you cut that in half, not even in half, right? Like you cut that down to 99% because as soon as I just shoot, they're like, oh, he's up in that house. Well, that's a good spot. Right? Well, that house is not longer a good spot anymore.
During engagements, and it keeps the pacing more dynamic than static.
We're not saying don't camp if that's the strategy you want to invest into, but it's our answer to the age-old FPS debate of players having a significant advantage by camping.
But that is the strategy. If I'm a pilot, and I'm a good pilot, and I pilot the jets, okay, and I can just stay up in the sky all day long, right? I'm good at piloting the planes or the helicopters. That's my advantage. If I'm a camper, okay, that's where I'm sitting. And if I get a good advantage over something, right, that is fun for me, right? And I understand they're like, well, the majority of the people would quit if they can't see where he is. That's cool. Maybe if there was flares, as Sarge said in the other game, right? If you put a flare up, that way it detects the person on the ground. Something along the lines of that.
Most importantly, we added kill cam to help onboard new players to the depth and more hardcore elements of WARDOGS on our official servers. Ironically, out of all the people over the Future Game Show,
here's the thing: the dynamic of a game like this, when you're doing a tactical game, is completely different when there's kill cam and no kill cam. Because if there's kill cam, you're kind of just running and gunning, because if you get killed, you're like, oh, I see the person, right? You don't take your time and sweep and do all these other stuff, right? Now, I get it. People want to play that way, and then people want to play the way that I want to play, and I understand that, okay? But when a kill is a kill, and I don't know where you are, I'm not just running out in an open field. I'm running up to a cover, and then I look and peek and go, and then I go to the next thing, and then look and peek and go, and that's the way you go. That is how battle is done. You don't just run out in an open field, right? You crawl in the field. You hide behind a rock, a tree. You move slowly.
The weekend, Asmongold called us boomers, even though his hairline's worse than mine, by the way. It's what it is.
Oh, they know their audience. The song, yeah, this is a boomer game for sure.
But he's not wrong. The players we're talking about here have jobs, families, and other commitments. They may not have the time that we do to learn and recognize the best spots to ambush new players from, or the sonic signature of a 9mm round, but they will if they're more willing.
Well, Ray, this is why I like World War II games and stuff like that, because you can't be too far away. You really can't be too far away. You have to be up close for a lot of the guns and stuff, right? I also like that because you don't offend anybody, because it's history and you can be the teams that they are.
To stick around long enough to find out.
WARDOGS is not for everyone. It is a more hardcore shooter than it is arcadey. But our line in the sand here is that shooter fans who want to try something more tactical than what they usually play are a welcome part of our audience, and we intend WARDOGS to be the gateway to learning and appreciating tactical FPS.
However, once players feel they've learned the game well enough to not rely as heavily on kill cam for map knowledge, meta, and audio cues, we encourage people to try out community servers running what we're calling hardcore mode.
Okay, so there's a hardcore mode with no kill cam. Looks like I know what I'm playing.
We haven't discussed hardcore mode yet, as we didn't want to muddy the basic understanding of the core WARDOGS experience. But in short, hardcore mode will have kill cam disabled, reduced HUD,
kill feed forced to squad only, and first person only vehicles. Okay.
Forced to squad only, and vehicles will be first person only. This mode is intended for the hardcore players who aren't afraid of the higher levels of friction in hardcore tactical shooters. This way of playing is massively important to us, so cash and XP earning will remain persistent across official and community servers. The only time these servers won't be connected to your persistent cash is if server admins drastically alter values outside of our preset bounds in order to protect and maintain the game's economy. We wanted this
good.
vlog not just to serve as like the kill cam response video, but instead as an example of how we own our vision for the game. We draw that line in the sand and feed that back to you, the players. We're not going to defend ourselves every time the loudest voices disagree with our decisions, but in this early stage, we want you to know wholeheartedly who you're buying the game from. We want you to understand the vision we have for the game and what game you're buying into.
This is the game we want to make and play ourselves. Honestly, if you're still against that, WARDOGS might not be for you. You'll always be welcome.
I like what they're doing here. They are, as they said, drawing the line in the sand, saying, look, this is what we're doing. If you like it, great, come on board. If you don't like it, it's not for you. It's okay.
Welcome, but we don't want you to spend your money on something you might not enjoy.
So to recap, we want to make sure that players can understand where, why, and how they died.
Yeah, see, I don't like the kill cam. I like their kill cam with the way they do it, where it turns towards it, but I still don't like kill cam.
Make the choice in game to negate the kill cam with the ghillie suit, or reduce the kill cam with a headshot. And you can play entirely without kill cam on community servers, which will also be a part of the persistent cache and XP system.
There's still so much we want to cover before early access, but for us, being direct and firm about our vision is the antidote to the sad state of affairs in the games industry where players have been dealt deceptive marketing for so long. I'm sure at some point our approach will backfire and we'll say something out of line that a AAA publisher would wince at. That is a risk that we at Bulkhead are willing to take to help you be more confident in wishlisting WARDOGS.
It'll be interesting to see what happens once it comes to console and there's crossplay involved with this as well.
WARDOGS closed pre-alpha will be happening on the 26th of June. Originally, we were only opening up the pre-alpha to 1,000 new players, but since the hype this past weekend was so high and we've received so many new signups, we've decided to add 4,000 new players to the closed pre-alpha test.
Okay, well, that's good. Well, yeah, because right now it's only on PC, Sarge. But when it comes out, they want to put it across all the consoles, you know, all the platforms and stuff like that. Look, I'm excited for it. I think it's it looks good. It definitely looks like the Battlefield that I want. It definitely looks like Arma that I wanted to try. Right? I didn't buy the new Arma, whatever Arma. I forget what the last Arma game was called. But I don't know. What do you guys think about the kill cam? How do you guys feel about the kill cam? Do you like kill cam? Do you not like kill cam? I'm glad that there's a hardcore mode. I'm okay with the ghillie suit. That's a steep price though, 80,000. How does that work though? If I die, do I lose the ghillie suit or do I have the ghillie suit the entire time? Like once I purchase it, do I have it? Or I die, I lose it, then I have to buy it again. Remember 3 teams, not just 2. That's true as well. I'm fine with kill cam. I mean, there's a hardcore mode, so it's fine with me. Armor Reforger, thank you very much, Jesse. Rod says, "I'll jump in when Nicki Minaj gets added." Well, it looks like you're not. Looks like you're not going to jump in, huh? Yeah, this doesn't feel like a run and gun type of game. It does feel like it almost feels like the way we used to play Bad Company 2 back in the day, Sarge, where when we had our little groups, even though that's an arcadey type of game, we didn't play it arcadey because of the guys that we played with, and that's why we dominated every single time. We would never lose a game because we were playing the game as we were a unit. What's going on, Argus? Ray says, I stopped being a camper at 14, so I don't care. I see. This is why I'm not saying you, Ray, but I love when people say camping is cheap. In war, right? The people that want to play war games, like actual war games, camping is the thing, right? Like, if people that are looking for that military, authentic type of stuff. Now, again, this is not super mil, okay? They're looking to fantasize of being in war because they don't actually want to go to war, okay? Or maybe they were in war and they like that feeling, okay? Being a camper is how you survive. Not just camping, but slowly, methodically going through stuff. So like when you get to a town, you're not just running, kicking open a door, running out in the courtyard, blah, right? You're checking corners. You're going through windows. You're communicating with your team. That is what the people want when they play a game sort of like this, right? Now, I get it. There's people that just want to play and just run up and kill the people, move around, and go, oh, look at my kill-death ratio. Most people don't play games for kill-death ratio, at least in my age bracket, right? Not because we're not good at the games. It's because they want an experience where they feel good. So it doesn't matter if they died 10 times and they got 2 kills. If they're playing with a squad and they're communicating, that's the playground they want to be in. Sarge says no kill cam, but hit direction should stay longer so you can make the guess. Yeah, I'll agree with that. The new Unreal Engine uses a lot of AI. Surprise, I'm not. Yeah, we have a story. Actually, I didn't pick that story today, but we have a story in the submitted stories. Yeah, I'm excited for it. Let me see what the comment section says here. Actually, let's go back here. Let's look at the comment section. It says, it's so refreshing just to have a dev team just be real with the community. Yeah, that's how Helldivers 2 was when it first came out. Generally respect you guys sticking to your vision and explaining why behind the controversial feature. I do appreciate that as well. Let's see. Forklift gaming detected. Finally, a developer clearly explaining why they landed where they did. Just make the game, sell the game. I'm not mad that they did it, right? It'll be interesting to see. Again, I don't know if you buy the ghillie suit, if you lose it when you die, or do you lose it, or do you, once you buy it, you always have it? 80,000 seems like a lot. Like, nobody's camping in the beginning. Nobody's camping in the beginning. He says, I laughed when they said, come COD players think they're hardcore because they're playing hardcore mode. Sounds about right. Yeah. They roasted Asmongold. Probably one of the best compromises I've seen for kill cam. Yeah, they did it well. They did do it differently than everybody else. Let's see. This is what a great dev team can do when not being choked to death by a board of corporate slime balls. Very true. Let's see. Anything else? This is exactly what developers need to do. Well done. That's from Big Fry. All right. Jesse Max says, adding a kill cam into tactical shooter isn't a bad idea for me because it kills the most important thing tactical sim shooter is. Well, the way they're doing it, I think, is okay, right? And I do like the way they explained it, Jesse, where if I get shot in the head, it just goes in that direction. Not all the time, though. It just goes into like a sense of direction. And then if I get shot in the body, obviously you fall and you like turn towards the direction you got shot at or whatever. So you can then, you don't see a highlighted character in a window or running through the wall and stuff like that, right? That's not what their kill cam is, unlike the other games. Call of Duty like zooms in, got a highlighted thing around them so you know exactly where they are. It's not that. Jesse Max says, not using your brain to think about where the enemy killed you from. Yeah, no, the way they do it, it seems, at least they're putting it in the general, the example they did with the crane, I was like, where could he be? Yeah, of course he's in the crane, okay, because you don't see him on top of anything, right? You can scan and whatnot. Obviously, if I have a kill cam, I'm going to sit there. I don't know if it goes away within 3 seconds or a couple seconds, or can you just sit there, right? So I'm not upset about it. I do think it's interesting the way they're implementing it in the game. Ray says, don't worry. I understand. I myself at 29, I'm way slower than my prime. It's not even that. It's the mindset. It has nothing to do with the skill level, right? The skill level, I prefer, like when I used to play Battlefield Bad Company 2 with the squad that we were in, we would play rush mode a lot. Okay, my job, I would die a lot. My job was to plant the bomb. That was my job, right? So I would kill a couple people, slowly get in there, right? Plant the bomb, and then camp. That's what I would do. camping to protect the spot. Now, I wouldn't move in until everybody else had their point of advantages where they were surrounding the area and they could see eyes on the crate. Okay, then I would go in, plant the bomb. Right. So at the end of the match, I didn't have the most kills. I didn't care about not having the most kills. Right. What I cared about was winning. Right. That's why I played these games with the group. I had so much fun playing with the group that we were playing with because we were all communicating. We were all in this like coordinated group, and there was 12 of us. Right. We only had 4-man squads. Right. So there's 3 groups of us all talking on Xbox Party Chat. And we'd be so coordinated. It would feel amazing to play. And it wasn't because I was getting 96 kills a match. Okay, there were times where you just dominated and whatnot. I would have other times where I was just a helicopter, right? And I would come in and fly in, drop people off, go back up in the air, right? It's amazing when you have other people. It's like going to a bar, right? You go to the shittiest bar, but if you have your friends with you, it makes the shitty bar a better experience than going to a fantastic bar and being lonely. You know what I mean? Like, you're like, this bar sucks. It's not about the place that you're at. It's about the people you are with while you're doing the thing. Ron says you understand your role. Right. Clip says they announced Riot Games is going to use the Unreal Engine for something. Is that the reporting? Reporter, breaking news. Unreal Engine's using an engine for something. It sounds like Kotaku. It sounds like Kotaku reporting. Yeah. So why other people play games and why I play games are completely 2 different things, right? It's just about the thing. Yesterday, my wife walked in and I was playing the restoration game. That's a demo on the Next Fest type of thing, where all you're doing is that you open boxes and you get like a cartridge of a video game. And it's like filthy and it's got the stickers all over it. And you take like tweezers and you like pull it off and right. And then you have to clean it and then you put it up on the shelf. I was just playing the demo, right? I played that fucking thing for 4 hours. I'm listening to a podcast in the background, right? And I'm just playing this game. My wife walks in and goes, "What the hell are you doing?" I was like, I don't know. I was like, it's like therapy. I was like, I'm like in a Zen moment and I'm just sitting here like cleaning a cartridge in a fucking video game, right? It's like I don't really like the game, but I like what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean? It's like ASMR type of stuff, right? And then I'm listening to a podcast. So I'm just like chilling, listen to a podcast while cleaning. Like it's almost like Pressure Wash Simulator or Power Wash Simulator or stuff like that, right? It was just funny. Yeah, CEO Replacement Simulator. It was just funny. My wife was like, "What are you doing?" And she came in and she's like, and I just explained it to her and she's like, I get it. Right? She reads books and stuff like that. It's the same type of thing, right? It's just that state of mind that I'm in for that game. And then when I'm playing a war game, I'm in a different state of mind. Then when I'm playing a single player game, I'm in a different state of mind. All right. The next story is, before I get started, I have to go make breakfast for my son. So give me 1 second. I'll be back. I'm going to put it on break, play some music, and I'll be right back.
Old guard signs off after decades strong. Phil walked the road, tried to right what felt wrong. Built Game Pass Thunder, made the Xbox roar. But the winds of change knocked right on the door. Now Asher's here with a vision to cast, from Corey Eye to the gaming mast. Says she'll listen, learn, and keep fans inside. Console first, keep hardware tight. says there's a tool, not the beating heart. Games are people made, crafted with soul. That's the story, he's pushing the message he sold. She talks exclusives, fans who still care, maybe back to roots, the things you wear. Halo Gears, Forza consoles, pride, maybe keep them here where our flags reside. Legacy's heavy when the fans all wait, want answers quick, not hope on a slate. Every step measured, every word checked, brand trust upon that must be kept. Sharma said the plan's the plan until it's not the plan. New directions bloom like a launch day fan. Booty's got vision, put it in his hand. Sharma said the plan's the plan until it's not the plan. Console first, don't let it stand. If new winds blow, they'll shift the sand. Gamers still watch, hard in the land. Sharma said the plan's the plan until it's not the plan. From Phil's farewell to the rising dawn, Xbox stands but not unchanged. Fans cry out.
All right. Let's get to that next story here. All right. So we've been talking about the last couple days over the weekend and stuff like that. You've been watching probably other videos and other news stories about Microsoft all of a sudden changing. Hold on one second. I don't know why this is changed again. All right. But they're cleaning house, right? Asha Sharma, we read last week. The first 100 days they did something, and now the next 100 days they have to reset Xbox. Okay. It says it just keeps getting worse. Microsoft reportedly already had Ninja Theory in its crosshairs while pushing the announcement trailer for this next game. Now, we talked about this. Okay. We talked about this yesterday when we were reading stuff, and I was like, wait a minute. I said, I can't believe. Okay. That means they were actually going to fire these people before they showed Senua at the Game Awards or whatever. Not the Game Awards, Summer Game Fest type of stuff, right? At the Xbox Direct. I was like, that's diabolical. Okay, but the reason they were doing it is because they were trying to find a buyer for the studio. So they were showing their next game. And my question is, why do you have to publicly humiliate the company, right? When you show a game and people are like, oh, it looks pretty interesting. And they're like, just kidding. You're never going to get it because we can't find a buyer. It's absolutely crazy. Mr. G says, nice tune, 30. Maybe not be able to read, but he can write. That's right. Can't read, but I can write. Thanks, Google Translate, spell check, all the other stuff. We need a pancake song so we know when to step away. I mean, it says break on the screen. It's the pancake song. I'll get on it. All right. So Microsoft has already planned to sunset the split with the studio. Okay. Perhaps the most shocking part of Microsoft's incoming rash of suspected layoffs and studio closures is Ninja Theory, a studio which had announced, well, I lost my spot now, which announced a Senua game at the Xbox Showcase barely a week prior. At the time, it seemed neither misalignment of strategy, the result of someone high up cannot crossing the T's or dotting their eyes. That's not how you do that one. Okay. It turned out that the mighty actually had been the plan. According to an anonymous source speaking with the journalist Stephen Totillo, Microsoft had already planned to part ways with Ninja Theory before the trailer dropped. Think about this for a second. How diabolical is this that you sent, right? That you sent out the team to basically be embarrassed. And now look at the story that's happening, right? Look at the story that's happening. That this team is working on a thing, and you were already going to get rid of them, but the only reason you showed it off is so the investors could know that they could buy them and they were working on something. So that game wasn't coming out anytime soon, I would assume then, right? It says, quote, by the time the game was revealed, Microsoft had already planned to sunset or split with the studio. The thinking was that the promise of the newly announced game would help draw investors' interest in the studio. It's unclear if anyone at top of Ninja Theory was involved in this plan. Well, that's a big question, right? So management itself right here is absolutely horrendous at their jobs, first off. Okay. And then if someone at Ninja Theory knew this ahead of time and then didn't tell the employees, it's also diabolical. If we really stretch ourselves thin and apply the most charitable lens we can, this could be construed as Microsoft giving Ninja Theory one last Hail Mary before deciding to axe it. But it's hard to not take a more cynical lens, especially given Microsoft's recent track record. This is simply a company that cannot commit to a single goddamn thing. Ooh. Who wrote this? Harvey Randall. He's mad. Right? He's mad. He says, I don't know about you, but I personally think that you should try to release games that you announce. Or at the very least, you shouldn't shutter or reject the studio. Announce them less than 2 weeks later. And definitely shouldn't, as Totillo floats, possibly avoid telling said studio that it's your plan in advance. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy that you just kind of stay quiet the entire time. Like, I understand business is business, but man, it's just, what a shitty, this is why I don't like companies. This is why I'm not a fan of any company. This is why I'm just a gamer. I buy games. This is why I don't get excited when I see a game, right? I get excited when I can play a game. When I play a demo and see a demo, okay, I'm like, hey, this is like almost a game, right? And I play, I'm like, I'm looking forward to it. And then they release that game, and then you're like, hey, they released the game. If they shut the game down and the studio down afterwards, so be it, right? It didn't sell well, but at least they made a game, right? At least they made a game. It says the waste continues to shock me in a short-sightedness and the tip top of Xbox and Microsoft don't give me much faith. Well, first of all, this is not a Microsoft thing. This is not a Microsoft thing. Okay, let's talk about the shit stain again in the industry, which was Concord. Okay, 13 days from release to closure. It's not just Microsoft, it's the gaming industry as a whole. They don't care. Totillo mentioned that he's spoken to Xbox head Asha Sharma 2 months ago, where she praised South of Midnight developer Compulsion Games for getting a Peabody Award. Guess who's also on the chopping block? That's right. Remember Matt Booty? We need more games like Tango Gameworks making Hi-Fi Rush and then getting rid of Hi-Fi Rush. It's almost like a foreshadowing. When anyone from Microsoft compliments a company and they win an award, they're getting axed. Okay? Or maybe we should look at Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella, who thinks the issue is that these games aren't monetized enough. The written word doesn't have a sustainable enough for these noises I just made, but either way, I'm personally out of patience. Microsoft is either flying by the seat of their pants or astonishingly cutthroat or atrociously cutthroat or both. It's both. It's both. This is bad. There's no spitting this, right? You knew yesterday we were making a speculation. Today, our speculation becomes more viable because there's a rumor that they already knew about this when they showed the stuff off. Right? First thing people asked was, oh, wow, that was a quick turnaround from their last game to this game. Well, that's why. That game wasn't coming out anytime soon. It took them. Let's look at this, right? Hellblade released when? Hellblade released August 8th of 2017. Hellblade 2 release date May 21 of 2024. Now, you could say, right, 2018, what was it, 18? 17, right? So 18, 19, 20, right? Then we had COVID, so a little delay, but then we had 21, 22, 23, 24. That's a 7 years between Hellblade 1 and Hellblade 2. And now you're telling me Senua was coming out just 2 years after, maybe 3? Highly unlikely. Okay, meaning it makes sense why they did show it, because it is that Elder Scrolls 6 type of thing where they just showed it and say, yeah, we're working on it, because investors wanted to know that they were working on it because they were up for sale, right? Bethesda was up for sale. That's why they showed that stuff back then. That's why they showed Elder Scrolls 6. That's why they showed Starfield. That's why they showed a whole bunch of stuff, because it's for investors. So now, as a customer, right? Not a consumer, a customer. When you watch these shows, okay, we've talked about this in the past. It's almost a verbal contract, basically, right? You're watching these shows for you. These are not for investors. They could send them to people's investors. They could send them to an email. Hey, you're an investor. Here's what we got going on. You want to buy them? They could have done that. Nope. They went on a show. They showed you these games. They show you games, right? They could have not shown you that game, right? So now, if you're a person that liked Hellblade 1 and Hellblade 2, and you're like, oh, man, I can't wait for that game. You're excited about that game, and guess what? That studio might not even be here anymore, right? They trotted out the cow on stage and said, here's a cow. And then we're going to slaughter it right in front of you guys. That's what they did to Ninja Theory, right? Terrible, terrible way to go out, right? This is worse than what they did to Hi-Fi Rush, right? Then we have Compulsion Games. Congratulations, you won a Peabody Award. Nobody cares, right? And now they're closing that studio down. Now, I did see a post. I don't know if I can find it. But someone did a post and showed. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it on Twitter. I think the guy Grums posted it or reposted the guy's thing. Let me see if I can scroll down and find it. I saw it in my Twitter feed yesterday. They showed all the amount of people playing. Yeah, here it is. All right. These are the Steam numbers. This is the Steam numbers. These are the companies that are being closed down or on the chopping block. Okay. So obviously Ninja Theory made Bleeding Edge, 1,400 people 6 years ago, and it's got one person playing now. One person just keeping. I don't even know how they're playing the game, right? Then they have Hellblade. Okay. And that's 3,982 people and 76 people playing. And this is as of yesterday. Then you have Kiln, which is from Double Fine, 193 people on Steam, 7 people playing at the time of this clipping. Keeper, which is the Lighthouse game, they had 191 people 8 months ago and 3 people playing it right now. Compulsion Games, 1,438. Okay. You got 14 months ago. Did it come out 14 months ago? Jesus. 34 people playing that game, right? We Happy Few, 3,498 total on Steam, 65 people playing now. And then Redfall, which is crazy, is the highest number at 6,124 3 years ago. And there's 10 people playing right now. This is not very healthy. This is not paying your bills because you would assume that even if you double or triple these numbers because of console. Let's just really, really nice, right? You quadruple the number that this number is, that in no way, shape, or form paying off the bills that they had for these games when they made these games, and they're just losing money on these games, right? Even if it was a $100 million game, right? I don't know what Hellblade was, okay? But I don't believe Hellblade made its money back. Right? Again, these are concurrent numbers, not total sales. But this doesn't look very healthy. Yeah, I don't know about the Arcane. It's a different Arcane. This is Arcane in Texas, Austin Arcane. The other one that they're talking about, I think, is Arcane. Is it in Houston? No, this one was in Austin, Texas. And they got merged in. They didn't close. They got merged into other people. The one I think is in France is the one that they're talking about closing down now. The one that's doing Blade, if I'm not mistaken, which doesn't look healthy for them, by the way. I don't think that game sees the light of day. Then another person says that, because we got to talk about Bungie as well, right? Bungie's rumor going around, they're going to lose half their staff, right? Yeah, Arcane Lion. That's in France. Yeah, the French company. Right? Still points out that's a shitty game that no one played, which was Redfall. Right? But I think the point of the thing is they made these games and no one's playing these games. So you can see why they're getting rid of them, right? That's what they're looking at. As a customer, I don't care why they're getting rid of them or not getting rid of them, right? Obviously, if the business comes down to it, it needs to make money. The games I just showed you didn't make a lot of money for them. That's 6 games, regardless of Redfall, right? There's 6 games between Ninja Theory, Double Fine, and Compulsion Games, and they didn't move the needle. They didn't move the needle at all. So you can see and go, oh, well, that makes sense, right? Business is business. Obviously, there's people that have jobs that are going to lose their job, but the bottom line is that it has to make money. There's no difference if, a movie theater or a movie comes out. Look at Mando right now. Mando and Grogu, right, is losing about $250 million. That's a failure. That's going to be a ripple effect of what they spend their money on down the road, right? Maybe they don't need to spend that much money on a movie. Maybe they drop it down by half. Instead of spending $165 million, spend $100 million, right? Spend $80 million to make a movie. Crowded says, oh my God, I almost forgot about the Redfall. That was Concord level failure. Well, technically, it's not even Concord level failure. You could still play Redfall. Right now, you can still play Redfall. You cannot play Concord. So it's not even close to being Concord failure. Redfall's been out for 3 years. Concord was out for 13 days. It's not even in the same ballpark, Crowded. Smaller pool, too many games. Yeah, they're not hitting the, well, if you also go back and look at some of the games, right? If you go back and look at some of these games, they're underneath the umbrella of, the DEI checklist type of stuff as well. How much is it on Steam? I don't know. Let me look for you. Let me look for you. Let me be your Google for you. Let me do that for you. I'm gonna do that. I'm being serious. I'm gonna look it up for you. Okay, we're gonna open Steam up, and then we're gonna check out to see if Redfall's there. I'm gonna say it's like $20, maybe less. Let's see. Redfall, $40. It's $40. $39.99. Yep. Yeah, not even close to Concord levels of failure. Not even close. Publicly, you could be like, yeah, it's like Concord, but it's still here. You can still play it. You can still touch it. You can still do a whole bunch of stuff with it. You can make fun of it. Yeah. It's definitely not on the same level as Concord. Nothing, to be honest, is on the same level of Concord. The only thing you could probably do on the same level of Concord is the day before. The day before could probably be in the same conversation as Concord. But we knew that day before wasn't an actual game beforehand. And it was a small independent company. Well, the funny part is now, Crowded, they actually updated it. And it's a much better game than it was when it launched. But nobody gives a shit because it was broke, buggy, and unfinished when it came out 3 years ago. I think it's still broke, though. I'll be honest. I think it's still broke. Xbox, though, it's like all these companies, I shouldn't say Xbox, Microsoft. It's like all these companies try to be the shittiest company on planet Earth, right? Which I think Microsoft has won quite a bit. EA's won it a couple times, right? Activision's up there, and it's nice that Activision got bought by Microsoft, right? Microsoft's like, hold my beer. We could be the worst company ever when we fire someone and put them out on stage to show their newest game that's not going to be released because we're looking for a buyer. Summer Steam sale is about to happen, so it'll probably be $10. That's true. It's going to happen real soon. Maybe Eclipse, because the Summer Steam sale is happening. Maybe they'll put the Steam machine on sale for Summer Game Fest, a lower price, and then it goes up afterwards. I'm just making shit up. All right, the next story we're going to talk about is a opinion piece by Corden. Okay, Microsoft, please let your Xbox studios cook. They shouldn't be punished for previous experiments and mismanagement. Well, mismanagement is mismanagement. Like, you put these people up for management. and they suck at their job, someone needs to oversee the management. And then that person should also get fired for hiring shitty managers. All right. If you guys like what I do, we do this Monday through Thursday from 10 o'clock in the morning till noon Eastern. If you like it, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as low as $5. I like the smell of copium. Microsoft, it says, please let your studios cook. They shouldn't be punished for the previous experiments and mismanagement. Studios like Ninja Theory and others reportedly on the block at Microsoft. It shouldn't be like this soon after the Xbox showcase. Well, you gotta, again, the shit sandwich. When you fire somebody or you're going to give someone some feedback, okay? Like maybe you've experienced this, right? Someone that knows what they're doing, they'll come up to you and be like, you turn in a piece of paper, right? Like your report. And like, oh, I really like your go-to attitude and you're really good at writing. But, and then they tell you all the flaws and why you got a C on the paper, right? And then at the end of that, they go, but keep it up. You're doing good. You're learning, right? That is a shit sandwich, okay? There's shit that you're eating, but they're putting it in a nice little bun for you. They compliment you in the beginning. They tell you something good about yourself. Then they rip into you. And then at the end, they tell you, well, keep up the good work, right? Because they still believe in you, right? That is what's happening with Microsoft, right? Xbox and Microsoft generally really remind me of the old webcomic called Persistence. Depicted above shows two dudes mining as one gives up the right before hitting diamonds. I feel like the mentality is like long been a bane of Microsoft all over. The ability to see things through the lead them to the miss the boat, various of computing paradigms and other types of opportunities. We're seeing it play out again. Now with Xbox, new leadership has come in with the mandate from Microsoft higher-ups to make Xbox sustainable, whatever that means. This is despite the fact that Xbox posted record profits last year, but decisions like this are made on future projections rather than the past wins. Now, I actually went back and looked, and Microsoft was profitable like every year. Okay? So despite the fact, right here, it says that Xbox posted record profits last year, but then Satya Nadella is going to stand there and tell you that we now have to make money, is like, what are we talking about? Like, what are we talking about? You were profitable, but now because of your AI stuff and this is not making as much money as that money, even though you're losing more money here, but you have contracts that are making you a lot more money, this doesn't seem like it's a good deal anymore, right? So we got to stop paying. We got to kick our son out. He's not pulling his weight around the house, right? Even though they were profitable, right? So it says Xbox has a variety of headwinds to contend with, as it does the entire gaming industry. CEO Asha Sharma suggested that the Microsoft gaming division will finish the year with only 3% accountability margin. The lion's share of the blame falls on the ill-fated Xbox Game Pass price hike, now reversed, and the memory availability crisis, and the soft year for both Call of Duty, Candy Crush, but all of these things were abated over time. Now, it's funny, right? It's like I'm holding the nail in my hand, and I'm taking a giant mallet, and I'm hitting the nail, and I smash my finger, and then blame you, the person that was watching me hold the nail, and then smash my hand, right? They made their own problems. They raised the price of Xbox Game Pass and thought, oh, well, this'll fix it. Where if they just stayed on course, they would have made the exact same money they made the year before, which was profitability, okay? Which was profitable because Game Pass has been profitable for years. But for some reason now, it's not profitable, and they spent way more money than what they were bringing in than they were spending, which is the first time we've heard about this in the history of Game Pass in 10 years. Go figure. All right. Microsoft instinct has also long been a cut and run at the wrong time. It's potentially making the same mistake now, too, in my view. Now, some of the Xbox teams just haven't delivered profitability Microsoft wants, but that's not all on them. It says rumors suggest that studios like Double Fine, Compulsion Games, Ninja Theory are all being explored for closure right now, with others to likely on the block. Nothing is set in stone yet, but these talks are happening. CEO Asha Sharma is working over the books and seeing how much has been spent on certain studios and what the returns have been. It's true that none of these studios have delivered a hit game since joining Microsoft in terms of retail sales or Xbox Game Pass engagement. Now, actually, let me just read this last sentence. It could also be argued that they weren't exactly positioned for massive success stories either. Okay? So, we actually said this back in the day, right? Because Hellblade, when it first came out, I said, oh, that's a Game Pass game, right? Because it was shorter with content. It was something to bring you into Game Pass, where that's where you were playing it, okay? That game cost about $100 million, I believe, okay? That wasn't a $250 million, $300 million game. So you would think that's like, okay, that's like the high-end tier you should put on Game Pass, because you'll make your money back in the long term with either multiple people getting Game Pass and people buying the game, and it'll pay itself off, right? Now, let me look it up real fast. What did Hellblade total sales? Do they give it? I don't think they will. Okay, Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice reached a major commercial milestone by surpassing 1 million copies across all platforms in 2018. The game also attracted massive audience, topping 3.5 million players globally across PC and console. Okay. So, year one milestone crossed 1 million copies sold in June of 2018, crossed the PC, PlayStation 4, and Xbox One. Player count reached over 3.5 million total players. Now, see, they only sold 1 million. Well, what was it, a $40 game? I think it was a $40 game, was it not? Let's do the math here. I believe it was 100 million to make the game. I think it was a $40 game. So they just sell 2.5 million copies. That's before marketing, before anything else, right? 2.5 million. Let's say it was $100 million, right? And let's put additional plus another 50 million. Right, another 50 million. So they're at 150 million, and then we'll divide that by 40. So they need to sell 3.7 million copies. Well, they don't have 3.7 million copies sold. They have 3.5 million players. So let's just give them the benefit of the doubt. Let's say they sold 2 million copies across the board at $40. Well, they're still way short, because now you have, right, let's say they have 1.5 million people, total players, right? 1.5 million, right? And then you times that by the $20 at the time, which is an additional 30 million, which still doesn't make them close to making their money back. So there's a big problem there. There's a big discrepancy of how they're making their business decisions of making a video game, putting it on Game Pass, putting it on everywhere else, but it's not selling enough copies. If it was selling enough copies on PC and selling enough copies on PlayStation and even Xbox itself, people that don't have Game Pass, then they can subsidize it by putting the rest of it with the monthly fee of that game. That's why that one game comes out that month, and that would dictate, okay, but now they're putting a whole bunch of games, right, on Game Pass. It says Ninja Theory in particular is a frustrating case. The UK had particularly aggressive COVID shutdown regimen, and Ninja Theory can hardly be blamed for. They also spent a huge chunk of time moving the studio location. Ninja Theory is also based in Cambridge, one of the UK's most expensive regions. This seems all inflicted to themselves, right? Hellblade won awards for its character acting technology, depicted of mental health struggles, but would also argue that it was Microsoft's leadership for not identifying the hard truth. Interactive walking simulation games just aren't big sellers. It's particularly true that Hellblade, at least as superficially similar to the presentation of Sony's God of War, without the gameplay depth and complement it. Okay, so they try to sell a walking sim. Now you might like the game, cool, but it wasn't a massive sell. If you can make $100 million game and make it mass marketed where people love it, fantastic. What do you think is more successful? Right, obviously, Power World, right, doesn't have the best graphics, but they made $60 million or 60 million copies or whatever the fuck is, or 12 million copies. I forget what it is. They made a shit ton of money. They said they have more money than they know what to do with. Or put $100 million into that. And Power World cost a fraction of the price, right? What did Power World cost? right? Power World's budget, 1 billion yen, about 6.7 million US. That's what they should be investing in. They should be investing in game companies that are small, that are making games that people want to play. Not that look good because it graphic-wise. Gameplay. People are interested in the actual game. Right? So it says, I'm not armed with the intimate knowledge of how Hellblade 2 was greenlit in this genre, but the solution to the soft sales was readily obvious to me and anyone else watching. It should have been an action-adventure title, meeting the market demand where it is. We've seen huge variety of superficially similar hack-and-slash games absolutely blow up on comparatively smaller budgets. Stellar Blade comes to mind. Lies of P comes to mind as well. We're finally getting Hellblade in the genre we always destined to be in, Senua, with Microsoft announced it's owned by Xbox Showcase just a few days ago, only to report the merge of Xbox isn't even going to see it through to completion, which just seems retarded, doesn't it? They're actually making the game that people wanted this time, but Microsoft, this is what I hope happens. I hope Ninja Theory doesn't close down. They get bought out by someone, and they release Senua, and it becomes a massive fucking hit, and Microsoft misses out. That's what I hope. That's what I hope, right? Because they're idiots. Right? As a fan and a customer who is tired of Microsoft announce first, then cancel approach to games people have been waiting for years, for some cases, this is absolutely awful pill to swallow. Again, but it's far worse knowing that the human cost of these calculations or cancellations, Ninja Theory has never been given the runway to fully spread its wings. Well, here's the thing. I know it's going to sound very heartless on my part here. Okay, as a customer, as a gamer, in the film industry, it's what have you done for me lately? I lived through it, right? It doesn't matter what you did 10 years ago, what movies you worked on. What have you done for me lately? Okay. What did you work on? What do I know? Oh, you worked on that? I don't care. What did you do recently? Right? What game did you do recently? What did you do? That's how studios act. That's how studios act to people that they hire. That's what they act about people that are actually acting in the films. What have you done lately? That's how video games work. That's how publishers work. What have you done lately? What have you done for me lately? What did you put out? That's how the entertainment business works. Because you could have the greatest hit. Look at Star Wars. But what have you done lately? You've done shit lately. So people don't like the brand. That's how it works in the entertainment field. It says COVID wasn't Ninja Theory's fault, and someone somewhere along the chain should have identified that Hellblade 2 wasn't going to be a big game in the genre or budget it had been sadly with. Someone somewhere along the chain should have invested in becoming something more. Well, at some point in the 7-year process of Hellblade 2, I respect that they made a game, sold a game, but when your game is made and it's over budget, and you didn't have the player base from the first game to the second game, that's a management fault. That's like you're trying to will it into happening. Okay, it says studios eventually have to sell games, but how can they if Microsoft keeps thinking for the poorly about things? Well, the problem is that if you're over budget, look at the movies, look at video games. If a game is over budget, it's probably not going to make its money back, which then loses money. Businesses are not able to lose money. What if Ninja Theory? Let's in this hypothetical world that we're talking about here. Let's say Ninja Theory put their game out. They weren't owned by Microsoft. They spent the exact same amount of money they did, and now they didn't make their money back. What do you think happens to Ninja Theory? They would close, or they would get an investor to put more money into them. That's what happens. This is not 100% a Microsoft thing. This is a gaming thing. The game's budget is over budgeted. They're living in the most expensive place in the UK. Right? These companies need to stop putting their places in the most expensive places to be. That would help the budgeting big time. It says there have been a large variety of projects greenlit under Xbox Studios that also had to have known they were never going to sell or get any kind of engagement in Xbox Game Pass. Keeper from Double Fine, for example, is a great and fun project, but it's an era of relentless, nonstop neon lights grabbing our attention. defective brains at every angle. You can now see these types of projects cut through the noise. That's why I put it on Game Pass. That game was made for Game Pass. That game probably didn't cost them $100 million. I would hope it didn't cost them more than Palworld. Like, what did Keeper cost? Keeper from Double Fine. What was the budget of that? Did they talk about budget? No, that's the horror film. No, it doesn't say it. Right? This game can't cost $100 million. There's no way. Right? If you have a game that costs $6 million, $10 million, $12 million, $15 million to make, that's a Game Pass game. You can make your money back with that. For sure. Right? It says the pressure Microsoft puts on Xbox to deliver results now betrays the reality of modern game development. Games need to either turbo unique, culture phenomenon, or absolute AAA bangers. South of Midnight, Kiln, Keeper, Hellblade 2, and even Avowed and The Outer Worlds 2 didn't have the scope, polish, or an edge or marketing budget to compete with the very similar titles that either do it better or just grab more attention. That's because these games were made for Game Pass. That's why they didn't have the polish. It was good enough to put on Game Pass. The studio and the teams back in the games ultimately work with what they are given. Those that also have been around long enough remember Xbox anemic Terry Myerson era, where the products being shipped barely even hit AA quality bars. What would be Avowed or Outer Worlds 2 have looked like with more dynamic world and reactive engines? What would Hellblade look like if they were also wide linear action adventure instead of walking simulation? Do smaller projects like Keeper and Kiln distract development time from the more ambitious projects? What if South of Midnight had better combat or broader scope? Shh. You can't say the combat's bad, Jez. Everyone thinks the combat was amazing in that game. No, they don't. That was the worst part about that game. Okay? It says, I wish I lived in a world where the importance of artistic games like Keeper and Hellblade 2 could thrive. Xbox Game Pass funds were supposed to be that. But we don't live in that universe. We likely never will. I would argue it's Xbox Studios to guide and invest in creativity, its teams steering them towards the kind of quality bars that we know Xbox is capable of. We also emerged with Gears of War E-Day, Clockwork Revolution, State of Decay 3, Fable, Grounded 2, Sea of Thieves, Forza, and so on. The talent is clearly there, and I know Microsoft isn't going to listen to me or any of us. But I would love to see what would happen if these studios would also give a chance to a longer runway. Acknowledge that the previous management mistakes were not their fault, and things like COVID surely represent mitigating factors. Yeah, that's it. The rest of the part down here. Well, actually, here it says, analyst CEO Satya Nadella portrayed his position on a recent interview where he bemoaned the fact that there's more monetization of Xbox Game Pass happening in YouTube than in Microsoft. I would argue it's a privilege that as so many millions of people want to talk about, want to share and content base of those worlds. Perhaps they'll get more monetization going on Microsoft if they had bailed out the growing Mixer. But I disagree. That's true. They bailed on Mixer. I loved when I streamed on Mixer. Mixer was probably my best platform. I loved Mixer. I thought Mixer was a great platform to be on. The community, everything about Mixer was so much better. All right, let me see what you guys are saying here. Astro says, Ninja Theory has never been given the runway to fully spread its wings. Really? They were making a short walking sim game for 7 years. Yeah. Maybe that's what they were given to. They were telling a story, though. They were telling a story. I want to know if they're allowed to keep the IP that they probably need the money to keep it. Yeah, so they tried to set up a thing. I don't think they were going to keep the IP. I think they were just trying to buy themselves away. I think they would have lost the IP just like Halo or Bungie losing Halo. It's very rare that they'll walk away with the IP that they made. People are saying Spielberg is washed up now because of his new movie. How many movies has this man's made? It's like 26. He's produced over 100. Whatever. He's lived a good life. Not every movie can be a hit. Just because Spielberg made it doesn't mean it's a good movie. Are we going to forget that he directed like E.T., right? And Jaws and all the other movies back in the past? War Horse and stuff like that? I mean, what do you want from the guy? He can't make a banger every single time. Came pretty fucking close though, huh? Came pretty fucking close. Eclipse says, well, the only reason why I don't blame it completely on him, he did not write the story for the movie. He just directed it. Oh, so they brought him on and he directed? Well, he directed what he got. Big Mo says Keeper was great. Title, puzzler. Me liked it a lot. Unfortunately, Mo, as we always say, you can like a game, but if a game doesn't make money, it's a bad game, right? It's a bad game, and the persona of people didn't care for it, so they don't care. Like, isn't it funny how like Pal World cost $6 million and made hundreds of millions of dollars? Vampire Survivor made so much money, a very simplistic game, didn't cost a lot. You know what I mean? And they go on to make it. But then you have these studios that are making a walk-in sim for 7 years, right? Like, how much did Vampire Survivor, what's Vampire Survivor's budget? Let me see what that is. Vampire Survivor was developed on a shoestring budget, just around $1,100, roughly $1,500 by a solo creator. Bro, look, what are we talking about? They're going for, we need graphics, we need gameplay, we need all. This dude soloed it, $1,500. $1,500, and the man's a multimillionaire now, probably, right? Vampire Survivor, let's see. Vampire Survivors has surpassed 27 million players globally across all platforms and mobile. The exact pay sale figures vary depending on the tracking platform. Marketing analysts estimate that the game has sold approximately 6 to 8 million copies on Steam alone. Steam owners are 6 to 8 million people. Yeah, but that's the point, right, Jax? Right? Jax says Vampire Survivor, very addictive, really good game. Why isn't the story, right? When they talk about companies and stuff, they're like, they need more runway to make these games. They need more things to make these games. Or the mass appeal of that game wasn't it. Right? They wanted to make the game they wanted to make. And I 100% respect that. That's all I asked for. Make the game that you want to make. Right? If you like that game, great. Put it out there and then see if it sells. If it hits with the main market, it's going to sell. If it doesn't, it's going to fail. Look at my YouTube channel, right? My YouTube channel's been around. I've been on YouTube off and on streaming for 10 years. Over 10 years. Okay? Other people do exactly what I'm doing. Some people have hundreds of thousands, millions of people watching them. Some have tens of hundreds of people watching them. Okay? I don't promote my stuff or anything like that. Some people sell and some people don't. That's just the way it is. No matter what you do, right? As long as you put the stuff out there, right? I have a small base, right? I would be like the Hellblade group, right? And then other people have millions of followers and they do the exact same thing. It's just, it is what it is. As long as you, the developer, the creator, are putting stuff out there that you like, it might take off someday. But when you're underneath the corporate company, okay, I would be canceled. If I was under a thing and I wasn't producing, I'd be gone. The channel would be done. But because it's me, and I don't answer to anybody else, I keep going. That's just the way it is. So when a company is underneath the umbrella of a corporation, they need to make the money. They need to, and when they're spending hundreds of millions of dollars to make a game that 1 million people play, 2 million people play, it's not going to cut it. It's not going to cut it. Just Enough says there was no budget. It was just brought an engine. El Dante says Vampire Survivor cost 2 packs of cigarettes, a case of wine, Monster, and a case of ramen noodles. That's it. No Doubt doesn't have a show coming out or something. Luca was able to make a hit game in a cave with a box of scraps. El Dente says because they have to pay the managers that micromanage the bad game. Yeah. You know what I like about what WARDOGS is doing right now? WARDOGS looks visually stunning and stuff, right? But you can tell the people that are making the game, one, they're not under a massive corporation. They are investors in their game. But you can tell that the people that are making the game love the game that they make. They're not trying to, virtual signal to you. They're not trying to sell you something it's not. They're just made the game that they want to play, playing the game that they made, and then other people that like that game, do you like this game? Well, come on over, right? It might be a huge success. It might not. Asha says, I would also like to see Xbox continue making a niche game, even though they aren't my cup of tea. If they look, Game Pass is a beautiful thing, right? Game Pass, in my opinion, is a beautiful thing, but they can't put a $300 million game on Game Pass. They can't. It financially doesn't make sense. When you take games in the AA space, independent games, right? Expedition 33 makes 100% sense. It visually looks like a AAA game, right? It's an independent studio, right? But the game costs, what, $10 million? Right? Even if it costs $50 million, whatever the hell it cost, right? That is a game that can make the money back on Game Pass. And they also got paid to put their game on Game Pass, so they made the money off on top, right? So not only did they make their money up front, right? They probably get a little percentage off the back. I don't know how that works, right? But they also made a lot of sales off that thing. That worked for Game Pass because it wasn't a $300 million game. Fable, it's going to have a problem. That's why it's coming multi-plat. That's why Fable's not making exclusive. Now, Asha Sharma said that Gears of War E-Day, okay, is exclusive. Now, if it's true it's $400 million to make that game, I can tell you 100% that it's going to be on multi-plat, right? Meaning it's coming to PlayStation down the road, because there's no way they're going to make their money back on the $400 million. Not one Gears game sold more than 6 or 7 million copies. It's like 6.7, 6.3 million. That's the number one selling Gears game ever, right? They need to sell 7 to 8 million copies just for E-Day to make that money back. So when they said it's exclusive, and then we heard that thing yesterday that says, well, for now, right? That's going to really hurt what Asha said. Everything that she's standing for, everything that she's saying and cleaning up and doing and rearranging stuff, everyone's like, oh, Asha, we trust. She told you that's exclusive. She didn't say time exclusive. She says exclusives because that's what you guys want on Xbox. If E-Day comes out on PlayStation anytime, I don't care if it's 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, okay? That's going to hurt her image, and everything that she says is full of shit after that. Eclipse says, isn't it giving out all the assets for free? There was also a Warhammer game is coming from that dude. Is based as hell. Yeah. Oh, it's the same guy making the Warhammer game? Bro. Good for him. I thought they were just copying him and made it into that. Crowd says, what kind of game is War Dog? It's between a Battlefield 6, but leans more towards an Arma Reforge. So if you like Arma Reforge, you'll probably like War Dogs. If you like Battlefield, you might. If you like more arcadey, it's probably not for you. Asha says, Sure, inflated game budgets are detrimental. Yeah, 100%. You can't put a game. It doesn't matter if we, you, me, all of us were like, I love that game. If that game costs $400 million, it's on Game Pass, that's not making its money back. Apparently, Asha said they don't have to make everything in every genre. That shit you listened to from Mag was BS and a pony pipe dream. It might be. I didn't say it was factual. I never say anything is factual, Mo, unless we read it and it comes from the actual source. But if that's coming down the road, I stand by what I said. That'll do so much damage to her reputation and everything that she says, and you won't be able to believe anything she says after that. House says, I really wanted to play a Clockwork game, but I'm not spending $800 on an Xbox to play it. Are you just a PlayStation guy, Crowded? Or do you have a PC? If you have a PC, you can play it. You have a Samsung television? Do you have a Samsung television? Do you have an LG television? Do you have an Amazon Fire Stick? Do you have really good internet? Right? If you have any of these things I said, then you don't have to pay $800 to play the game. Sarge says not exclusive, just timed. If it's timed exclusive, that's terrible on their part. Now, we don't even know if it's true about $400 million for E-Day, first off. That's a rumor. Just Enough says, Asha won't care. She'll be gone in 3 years. I expect that because that's what we have here before. Don't we remember when Starfield was being promoted as Xbox exclusive? Well, you got to remember that Starfield was supposed to be a PlayStation Time exclusive, but then Xbox came in and bought Bethesda, and then they made it exclusive for Microsoft, meaning it was on 2 platforms instead of 1, right? Starfield came to Xbox and PC, where if it was on Sony, it would have been just Sony. So they decided to buy Bethesda so they could put it there and then put it on PlayStation. It doesn't make sense because all Bethesda games were on all platforms before. And they haven't made any of their games exclusive that Bethesda made. None of the games. Let's see. Eldente says, I thought they said that Clockwork was a console exclusive. No, it's a Xbox exclusive. Did they not? I thought, hold on now. What's it called again? It's called Clockwork. Yes, Clockwork Revolution is officially coming to PC. Yeah, we launched on Windows PC and Steam in 2027. It'll also include day one Xbox Game Pass and PC for PC. 100%. Do you have a phone? Stream it on your phone. I thought they said it was only on Xbox. No, it's PC. See, that's the difference, right? That's the difference. When everyone says that Xbox make their games exclusive, it's just on Xbox. It's also on PC. See, as a gamer, PlayStation was going to make it timed exclusive only for PlayStation. I don't know if it was time exclusive or exclusive, but there was rumors that it was exclusive. I think it was timed exclusive for like 1 year. Okay. Microsoft was like, if they get that, then we're fucked. Even though it wasn't Redeem is a very good game. Okay. But when Xbox bought them and put Starfield on Xbox, they were also putting it on PC at the same time. So more people could play the game than if it was just on Sony for 1 year. Potentially. I have low budget Wi-Fi with foil. Is that good? Justin Dove says, crowded, everything is on Xbox except PlayStation 5 until. That's right. Yeah, if you have a PC, you can play Xbox games. You can get Game Pass for 1 month, play the games you want to play, and then go off. See, that is from a customer standpoint, that is pro-consumer, right? That's pro-consumer, right? You don't have to go out and buy an $80 game. You don't have to go buy a $100 game. Day and date, you can just pay for 1 month. You have 30 days most of the time, right? 30 days, 29 in February, okay? Or 28 in February to play that game for that month. And then go, okay, I'm good, right? If you could beat that game in 1 month, then you pay $30 because you're not going to own it anyway, right? You don't own the games anyway. Can we stop the cap with 800? No, it's $800, Mo. If I want a Series X, brand new, I got to pay $800. What are you talking about, stop the cap? If someone's like, I don't want the S because I want better graphics and better frame rate and stuff like that, you got to pay $800. Yes, Eric, they're putting everything on the Windows Store and Steam as well. Then they lied in the Xbox showcase. I mean, I'm not going to go back and look at it, but when they say Xbox exclusive to Xbox, Xbox is on a PC as well. So Eclipse says it's cheaper on PC. It's like 15. It's right. That's true. Game Pass PC is cheaper. It's 15. 16, I think. That is correct. All right, give me 1 second. I gotta take my my dog. It's a hot out, so my dog's gotta go pee, and we got him inside today. So give me a second. I'll be right back.
But every time I pull the trigger, it's like ghosts in the smoke. No suppression, no pressure, this ain't the old code. Grinding all night for that scope I need. But every upgrade feels like I'm planting seeds in concrete. Yeah, Battlefield's back, but fix it, please. Hey, hey. Battlefield's right, hey, hey. But fix it, please. Hit detections while bring it to its knees. Maps look good, but don't play right. Fire with light. Still we're storming through the fire and steel. Cause damn, it finally feels real. Battlefield's back, but fix it, please. Smooth launch, yeah, I can't believe my eyes. Call of Duty players jumping in, switching sides. Jet flybys, tanks on parade. But these spawn points got me feeling betrayed. I want that chaos, that old school thrill. Not running 10 miles just to die on a hill. So patch it up, guys, we know you can. Don't lose your soul to the same old plan. Yeah, Battlefield's back, but fix it, please. Battlefield's back, but fix it, please. Hit detections while bring it to his knees. Maps look good, but don't play right. Every flank turns into a fire with light. Still we're storming through the fire and steel. Cause damn, it finally feels real. Battlefield's back, but fix it, please. Battlefield's back, but fix it, please. Now they're talking about a BR mode. Dropping in hot, another heavy load. We've seen it done, we've seen it fail. Don't chase the trend, stay on the rail. Keep it Battlefield, large scale fights. Don't trade the war for battle lights. We want squads, not loot box dreams. Stay true to the chaos, not stream of memes. From 2D 42 scars we rise. Learn the pain.
All right. Sorry about that. All right, what we're talking about. I posted a pic in general chat in the Discord. All right, let me look it up. Let me take a look. Yeah, I don't think there's... I can't remember the last game that came out that was just... That's a picture. El Dente Xbox console exclusive. Well, yeah, that's not a lie. That's still what it is, right? PC's not a console, right? And it's only coming to Xbox console because there's only 3 consoles. There's Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo. And it's not coming to Nintendo and it's not coming to PlayStation, so it would be a Xbox console exclusive. So, see, it's always the wording. The wording is console exclusive, which it is. Because PC is not a console. They didn't lie. The console exclusive, they did not consider PC a console. That's correct, because it's not. Series X is only $650 for 1 terabyte storage option. There's a difference in exclusive Xbox and Xbox exclusive, or console exclusive. There's a difference between exclusive on Xbox and Xbox console exclusive. But yeah, no, it's number 1 movie at the box office this weekend. Nothing else came out this weekend. It's still the number 1 movie at the box office. $70 for a game. That's so pretty close to $800. Yeah, it's very true. It's just missing a couple of a zero and extra 100 after that. With all the big games coming to Game Pass, I will be able to play through 7 of them for the cost of 1 AAA game. Yeah. As a gamer, Game Pass is amazing. As a business model, it's absolute trash. But they are making money up until Satya Nadella said they weren't, even though they've been profitable for the last 5-6 years. We're stretching wording then? We're not stretching wording. This is a corporation. It's not a lie. Xbox console exclusive. It's what it is. It's an Xbox console exclusive. It's not on PlayStation console. It's not on Nintendo's console. It's only on Xbox's console. Chopper Eric says even Colt was talking about the new Gears. We'll need to sell almost 5 million copies to be successful. Being day and date on Game Pass will make the hard to do. 5 million. Okay, we don't know the budget. I don't know the budget. You know what? Let's go with how much was the last Gears? Was it Gears 5 budget? Let's see if they have that. Okay. Never officially disclosed blockbuster titles of this scale. Typically around 100 to 150 million to produce. Okay. The game, we can look at it from a very generic standpoint, right? I can look up the budget of the original Gears game, right? And then we could go up from, let me see what Gears budget was. The original Gears game. All right. Gears budget, they keep showing me, okay, Gears 1, is it the budget? Okay. So Gears 1's budget was $12 million back in the day. Gears 2 and 3 went up to $50 to $60 million. Then Gears 4 went up to $100 million. Okay. What was Gears? Is Gears 4 the last? No, Gears 4. Gears 5 was the last one, was it not? With the chick? Right? But you constantly add like 30 million, right? So 30 to 40 million is what you usually add. So let's just mathematically go by this, right? So 12 million, right? 12 million. Number 2 was probably around, well, actually, let me see if they have the budget for Gears 2. So we don't have to. Gears 2 budget. Gears of War 2 launched in 2008. Development budget was reported to be around 12 million. Okay. So Gears 2 was 12 million. Gears 3, right? We'll put this up, right? Gears 2 was 12 million. It says Gears 1 here, but I just looked up Gears 2, right? So Gears 2 was 12 million. Gears 3 was 50. So it went up by 40 million, 38 million, right? Roughly 38 to 48, right? Then from Gears 3 to Gears 4 went up to another 40 million, from 60 million to 100 million. So let's just say Gears 5 cost 140 million, right? Let's just say 140 million. So you would think the next one would be roughly around 180 to 200 million. Okay, so let's go with that number, right? They're saying Gears of War E-Day reportedly 400 million. I don't know if that includes marketing, but if the game costs 200 million, okay, because just incrementally, every time you make a sequel, that's what it goes up. Same with movies, right? First movie costs 100 million, the second movie costs 140 million, next movie costs 280 million, so on and so forth, right? So let's just say Gears of War E-Day cost $200 million. This is before marketing. $200 million. If we divide that by the $70, okay, they need to sell 2.8 million. That's just rough without any marketing, but they have to sell double that, right? They have to sell double that, so you times it because they have to make their money back plus the percentages they give out to the manufacturers and everything else, right? It's just like movies. Okay? So let's go with 200 million. And then let's put half. So let's say it's 300 million of their total budget. 300 million for their total budget, and we're going to times that by 2, which is about 600 million, and then we divide that by the 70, right? They need to sell 8.5 million copies. 8.5 million copies. If it's at 200 million. If it's at 400 million. Okay? If it's at 400 million, and then you put the marketing on top of that, right? It's at 600 million. Okay, now we're going to times that by 2 and then divide that by 70. They need to sell 17 million units. That's not going to happen. If it's $400 million for E-Day, they're in for a rude awakening. It's never going to make its money back. Never going to make its money back. Total Gear sales. The total sales of the entire franchise is 41 million. You think Gears of War E-Day is going to sell 17 million? Mo says, Mike, about the marketing, why do high? Why do so high? Because that's what marketing costs, Mo. Marketing is very expensive. Very expensive. When I used to work in the commercial world, I used to do commercials for just convention stuff, and it would be millions of dollars just for the marketing. Right? We're doing very generic math, okay? But that's the gist of it, okay? They need to sell over 10 million copies if it's at $400 million. It's not going to happen. No Gears has sold anywhere close to that. Ever. If it's at 400 million. If it's not at 400 million, and it's at the 200 million, well, they still need to sell 8 million copies. Adam says, also, I'm planning on buying a Control Resident on Steam for the same amount of the money that Xbox is getting from me for PC Game Pass across 5 months. Do we see the problem business-wise? But to me, Game Pass is amazing. 100%. For a customer, Game Pass is amazing. For a business, you cannot put a $250 to $300 million game on Game Pass. It is not going to drive sales up because, again, if a standard game costs $60 and Game Pass costs $20 and it was on Game Pass, you would have to sell 3 people on Game Pass that month just to cover 1 copy of that game. If it was at 60, now you're at 70, right? Or you're at $80. So then you would need 4 people to get Game Pass just for that month. So if Gears E-Day came out, 4 people played it on Game Pass, that counts as like 1 sale of a video game, right? Well, now you got to 4 times that. So if you just buy the game, it's $70, $80, whatever it is, right? But if I play it on Game Pass, I need 4 people to get Ultimate just to pay for 1 copy of that game. Eclipse says Steam will help it. Just so you know, it's also going to help that much of $400 million is too damn much for the budget. Yeah, the budget's ridiculous. We're talking about Gears being $400 million. It's for the brand. No, we're talking $400 million just for that one game, supposedly, the new game coming out. Ron says a price drop of the series consoles and bundles might give it a chance. Sure. But then they're also losing the money on the consoles then, right? So do you lose money on the sales of Game Pass, or do you lose the sales of the people that are buying consoles now underpriced and they're losing hundreds of dollars on the console? Just Enough says marketing is being expensive is the reason people can have streaming as a job. That's correct. In my little channel here, I make a couple of tens of dollars a month, right? And I have no views. Right? No views. I make most of my money on YouTube because of you guys, because of memberships and tips and whatnot, right? Asmongold, okay, doesn't even put ads on his stuff, okay, because he makes so much money off other things, okay? There's other people that don't have to charge a fucking thing because their ad revenue, they make $30,000, $1 million off an ad read, okay? Advertisement is very expensive. And companies have a nesting egg of what they have to spend on marketing every single year, right? Because they have to show it on the books. They have to show it. So there'll be people that used to come up to us for a company I used to work for, okay? And they're like, we need a commercial. What's the commercial for? Internal housing, right? If you work for a big corporate office and they have stuff playing on the television sets, that's what it's for. A documentary of what a product's doing, that's what it's for. They would spend tens of millions of dollars just to make it, and then they charge more to promote it and stuff like that, to put it on stuff. Advertising is very, very expensive. And companies are okay spending the money because if not, they would have to show where the money's going. Right? There's a big web of stuff happening here, right? Advertisement and marketing is very expensive. Ask Wizard. Wizard is in marketing. Marketing is very expensive. You think you're in the wrong business? Go into marketing. Marketing, you make a lot of money if you're with the right thing. Titan says, "Who said 400 million?" That's the rumor going around. This is all the Titan. There's no source saying exactly that it's 400 million. Hence why the entire time I said, if it is 400 million, which I don't believe, okay, because incrementally going up every sequel is about 40 million on top of the last one, right? So they would be around 180 to 200 million dollars. Maybe it's 400 million with the marketing, but they still need to sell with that. Let's just say it's 300, 400. They still need to sell 7 to 8 million copies to make the money. The best Gears has sold 6.7. Then you're asking, because now it's exclusive, right? Now it's exclusive, and it's only on Xbox and PC. I don't know how many people played Gears on PC, okay? But you only have 28 million units out in the world, right? Let's say 30. Right? Now you need 7 million, 8 million people to buy the game when the console is only out there but 30. This is not Mario Kart, right? Kids are not buying this because it's very bloody. Parents are not going to buy this game. It's a mature game. So now you're in a bigger niche. Or, I'm sorry, a smaller niche. Ron says the consoles are just sitting there losing money. Might as well do something off them. I agree, Ron, because I can still go buy an Xbox right now. But for some reason, they're $200 more. They weren't selling before. They're not selling now. Jesse Max says, why does Xbox make E-Day exclusive, then just release it on all cross-platforms? They don't get worrying about the money back, right? They're using E-Day because Gears came with Xbox. They're using it as a moniker. They're using it as a template of she's coming in and she's saying, look, we're going back to the Xbox gamers. We're here for you, and we're making Gears for you guys, and no one else can play it, right? For now, supposedly. Okay. That moniker that she's planting a flag in is saying, see, she's with us. So if you're a fanboy of Xbox, you're like, yeah, I want to buy Xbox again because now they have Gears. I love Gears, right? Nintendo does the nostalgia stuff, right? About Mario and Zelda and Metroid. That's what Xbox is trying to do with Gears. They should do it with Halo. Halo should have never went to PlayStation. She tried to pull it, but now there's contracts. Okay. Halo, Gears should stay on Xbox. It can go to PC, but it should stay on Xbox. Okay. If Gears, I'm telling you right now, if Gears comes out on PlayStation, E-Day comes out on PlayStation a year after, 2 years after, everything that she's setting up right now falls like blocks that a kid's playing with. Ron says, I do not know WWE will be promoting the game at its upcoming pay-per-view. Not sure how much that cost. It'd be logical for Xbox to lower the price of the series to differentiate from PlayStation 5. They 100% should. They should have never raised the cost. They should have ate the cost to get more consoles out there. When you're the leader and you're selling 90 million consoles, okay, and you're raising the price, what do you think the person at 28 million consoles has to do? Of course they have to raise the price. They're last place in the consoles. But no one's buying it. No one bought it before. Why would they buy it now? It makes no sense. I'm sorry, but if you're buying an Xbox or a PlayStation right now at the higher price, you're a terrible customer. Terrible customer. You didn't buy it up to this point for the 6 years it's been out, but now you're like, oh, you know what? I couldn't afford 300 and 400 and 500, but now I'm going to pay 7, 8, 900. What? You could have bought 2 Xboxes in the past. Chopper Eric says that's the plan. The plan they have right now until it's no longer the plan because it's not working for them. Right. It's a sampling is what it is. Just don't get it. That's one of the games that they should not have made a console exclusive. It was a multiplayer, all the Gears. It's so hard to find a match now because no one plays it. It's the game that they decided to do. I mean, if they really wanted to, I would have. Here's what I would have done. Right? You want to change up things. I wouldn't have made Gears E-Day a Xbox exclusive. Well, I would make it exclusive, but I wouldn't put it on Game Pass day and date. I would put the multiplayer on Game Pass, but the single player game itself would be that you have to purchase it. That's what I would do. If I was Asha Sharma, I would make the game single player campaign purchased. The multiplayer is on Game Pass and it's just free. It's part of the game, right? So if you buy the $70 game, obviously it's a multiplayer, but if you're just on Game Pass, you get to play multiplayer, but you don't get to play the story. Right? People will get pissed off, but at the same time, if you want to buy the game, buy the game. If you don't want to buy the game, you can just play the multiplayer. PlayStation 5 says Asha is pissing off ponies. Like so far, they have Confusion Cope. They're confused why Xbox would have an exclusive. Ron says at least Redfall is still Xbox exclusive. Can you not play Redfall on PlayStation? I thought Redfall came out on PlayStation. They did not put Redfall on PlayStation? Is that true? It's not available. That's amazing. That's amazing. They put Halo. They put Halo on PlayStation, but Redfall is an Xbox exclusive. What kind of fucking world do we live in? What kind of world do we live in? Titan says the quality control on PlayStation 5, no Redfall. Can you imagine? Redfall is playable and it's exclusive on Xbox, not on PlayStation. Fucking amazing. Freaking amazing. Okay. So all key shop, and again, this is from, it's a tweet. Right? I'll bring the tweet up. It says, Gears of War E-Day development budget is reportedly over $400 million. Tom Henderson claims a strict Xbox exclusivity decision was made weeks ago. Here's a statement I'll say. If Asha Sharma comes in, doesn't know anything about how long Gears has been inside development, how much it cost at the time, they're making the game knowing that they're going to put it on all platforms. And then she comes in and says, we're making Gears exclusive for Xbox and PC. And they're like, we're never going to make the money back. We're never going to make the money back. Right? Internally, they're like, yeah, we were told we were making it for all the platforms. And she's like, nope, I'm the new CEO. I'm your captain now. Right? So the coalition is now like, what are we going to do? Let's see what else is going on here. Checking out Twitter right now, just looking around. Borderlands has got something. June 18th, a new Gearbox devcast with an official reveal of the new Borderlands 4 content. It's almost been out a year already, huh? Xbox, Gamescom, plus FanFest. See you there. Okay. Rockstar has announced that anyone who owns a digital version of Grand Theft Auto 5 on PlayStation 4 or Xbox One will receive a free upgrade to the current generation version of the game. Okay. They really want people to buy consoles. Oh, I saw the cup, Jesse Mack. It looks like a penis. Yep. Are you going on to be on the Wizards channel tonight? I believe so. Why, do you know something I don't? Is he not having a show? Yeah, it's a skin cup. Well, I was just going to say PS5. I guess I won't see you at the show then. Yeah, I'll be on it. 7 o'clock. Oh shit! You guys watch Clarkson's Farm, Jeremy Clarkson? I guess it's coming out now that Jeremy Clarkson has been diagnosed with aggressive prostate cancer during the final 2 episodes of the show. Spoiler alert. Jesus. Yeah, that's no good. That's no good. I love that show. I've watched the first 6 episodes. What's Helldivers doing here? Helldivers is showing Pick Your Ride Helldivers. What did they do now? Automatic direction indicator. Is this the new war bond? Pick your ride. Is that in a pass, or it's just in the game? Man, there's a video. Maybe we'll watch it tomorrow. I talked about it a little bit yesterday about a guy saying why he hates Helldivers 2 now. They should just have their hazards on the entire time, Eric. That's what they should do. Just put their hazards on the entire time. If I was Xbox, if the 400... See, this is the problem. When someone comes out and says this game costs $400 million, somebody from Xbox or Gears has to come out and say, no, it's not. But they're not. So then what that does is, because you get the proof, right? Because they've made the claim, and now you have to come out and unclaim it. Or you stay quiet and people just think it's 400 million, which then starts to go down this rabbit hole of this is going to be not successful. It didn't sell enough copies. It's going to keep just spirals out of control. Right? But they don't say anything because they're like, well, if we don't say anything, then we're not admitting to it. But not saying anything, you are admitting to it. If someone says, hey, $400 million is this game, you're like, no, it's not. But if it's true, right? If it's true, then come out and say, well, yeah, this is the reasons why. But they don't want to do that. So instead of saying, yes, this is it, they're staying silent, meaning it probably is true. Oh, boy. I hope this is not true. Because one leads to the other. Now, IGN's putting this out here. Microsoft insists it won't flip-flop on exclusives. Some fans say it's hard to trust Xbox. Now, this is doubling down. They're saying they're not going to flip-flop on the exclusives they said. That meaning Clockwork Revolution and Gears of War E-Day will not be coming to other consoles. Ever. Ever. Well, if it's true now that it's $400 million, you better hope it's the greatest Gears of War ever created, and it sells double, almost triple what the best one has ever sold. Limited time flip-flop. Let's see. $1 billion has been paid out so far in the Unreal Engine Fortnite creators. That's crazy. $1 billion. Don't forget, if you guys use Fortnite, code 30NSG. 30NSG, I have a code. I just saw your news post. I forgot they didn't get it for free. PC got the next gen update for free. Chopper Eric says, if you're true, then they are going to have to eat some cost of those games to keep those promises. Well, Clockwork Revolution, I don't know, costs $400 million. I don't know what that game costs. But if E-Day, it costs $400 million, they are not going to make that money back. They're not going to make that money back. Fortnite collab coming in the future. Sonic Racing, Vampire Survivors. What, did they just announce this? Did they just announce this? They're doing Sonic Racing. Vampire Survivors is going to come to Fortnite. Man, that guy who created Vampire Survivors, Jesus Christ. We got Phantom Blade and Control Resonant and more. Interesting. All right. I think I don't see anything else happening over on Twitter's front. We covered our stories. We'll be back tonight, 7 p.m. Over on Fake Wizard News Live, where we'll talk of some video games and topics. I don't even know what they were talking about tonight. Maybe actually, did he? Let's see. Did he email me? Let's see. Articles tonight. It looks like we're going to be talking about, obviously, the Microsoft stuff. I don't know anything else as of right now. Yeah, he hasn't posted it yet. So we'll be back tonight, 7 p.m. over on Fake Wizard News Live. And then after that, me and Sarge will be playing some video games over on 30 and Still Gaming. Around like 9:15 or so, we'll be doing that. And then what else we got? We got the Daily Grind tomorrow, and then we also have the GXG episode 493. If you guys want to help us, again, it helps me out. If you guys want to find any kind of clips or any kind of things that you guys remember or show, if you can clip it and then put it in our Discord, because on the 500th show that's coming up, I'll play some clips from over the years and stuff like that. If not, then we don't play that, and then we come up with something else. But appreciate it very much. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to go above and beyond that, become a member as little as $5. I do appreciate you, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
To explain. Wake up in the Cosmodrome rain, a dead earth calling out your name. Ghost says, Guardian, rise again. No map, no guide, just fire in your hand. The dark below, we fought in caves. Hive kings crawling from ancient graves. House of wolves, betrayal lines. Prison of elders, one more try at a time. We were lost, but we believed in the light we couldn't see. We were chasing light through time. Every loss still felt like mine. From broken stars to burning skies, we kept on fighting, never asking why. Oh, eyes up, don't fade away. We're more than the ghosts of yesterday. Through every raid and every sign, we were chasing light through time. Then came the king, the taken rise, oryx falling from the sky. Jalahorn sang one last song, and suddenly the world felt strong. Rise of iron, the plague lands cry, silver spreading like a lie. Salvation forged in fire and steel, we learned what pain could really feel. Every white, every fall, we still answered when they called. We were chasing light through time. Every scar became a sign. From the ball of glass to the final line, we kept on pushing past the climb. Oh, eyes up, don't lose your way. The traveler still lights up the grave. Through every raid and every sign, we were chasing light